Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Marsh Parker.
I mean, Fuego here.
Yeah.
And we are here to do a review of Halloween 4, you guys.
Yay!
Boom! Right there. So, we are continuing our Halloween review series. We've done 1 through 3, and we have already recorded, but you guys haven't seen yet, our review of Rob Zombie's 1 and 2. Yep. So here we are cleaning up the rest of it, starting with number 4 now.
Keyword cleaning up.
Yeah, Fuego has never seen 4, 5, or 6.
No.
Unfortunately, he didn't get to 6 in time for our review, but he did get to 4 and 5. So we are going to go ahead and talk about 4, which will do our usual review format, overall thoughts, then story, acting effects, and all that good stuff in turn. And we'll have a little guest star here.
He'll give us thoughts.
But my overall thoughts were, I remembered liking this one way more than I ended up liking it on this watch through.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. I think it's visually great and the acting is quite good, but you know, I mean, there's no memorable kills or really much.
No, and there's almost no gore, but there wasn't in the first one either. People say that's not a problem,
that
but
makes
I like the gore personally. But yeah, this one was just kind of okay in my opinion. I like other ones definitely better, but it's not the absolute bottom for me. Marcia, what were your thoughts?
Okay, so I thought they did a good job continuing the story, even though they did have that break. And I was watching a little bit of the behind the scenes with the director for this one, and they're talking about how they really didn't want to touch too much on the second one. They really wanted to emphasize the first one and the connection, and they give you little bit tidbits and let you know who Jaime is, and why.
He's got the burns and everything though, so it's like, I mean, they're
Loomis? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they are
I
referencing.
mean, they're taking it in the context.
A little
but-
bit, but not a lot.
Not much beyond that though.
They didn't want to focus too much of the explosion because of the obvious hole that Loomis probably should have a little bit more burns and destruction.
Yeah, beyond his hand and half his face.
Right, and the fact that he's just limping. So overall I thought it was an interesting concept of the continuation of the story without having Jamie Lee Curtis. So
Okay.
Yeah, which we do see at one particular point where Jaime is looking at the photograph, but that's about it. And you know, that was the one thing that I must say I did enjoy is I really like is it Danielle Harris?
Danielle Harris, yeah.
Danielle Harris, she is really good. She's even better in the next one, but in this one, I mean, I really liked the dynamic with her and the kind of adopted older sister kind of thing. I thought she was a really formidable final girl and very solid, but I mean, without memorable kills, although I must say I did like the sheriff guy in this. I thought the sheriff was he wasn't hammy like we got in the second one with those 2 cops.
Was that in part 2, the bumbling cops?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's in 5.
Oh, that's in 5. Okay. God, I hated that.
5. They almost seem like a couple. It's
it was ridiculous.
It's funny, but yeah, he was a very 80s sheriff and just very, cool. And I do think the acting is strong in this, as I mentioned earlier. I feel like it's well shot. I just feel like the story was just
lackluster.
okay. Yeah. It's like 10 years later. The night he came back,
Well,
blah,
and
blah, blah, blah.
It's the first of the Thorn Trilogy, but there's nary a mention of the Thorn thing at all.
No,
that's not even in this
Well,
one.
because that
No, they
doesn't
don't
even
bring
pop
it up
up till the
until 6.
third.
There's
well,
no
actually,
mark, and there's no the
it's at
dude
the
in
end
black.
of 5. It's at the end of 5, right, where the weird guy shows up and walks.
The walking
into
of the Man in Black. Yeah. Well, the
yeah.
Man in Black is all through 5. Oh shit. Andrew just showed up off camera. What's up,
Well,
man?
we love Mr. Mercer. Sorry about your bikes the other night, but our Cardinals are right there. Yeah.
Yay! See, even the
Patriots
baby's
took
happy
care of
Andrew's
business
here.
today.
Anyway, stop talking about sports.
Sorry.
So anyway, guys, that's
overall thoughts.
Overall thoughts, yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
I thought
enough.
it was pretty good.
So the
I
story-
enjoyed it.
The story is,
Alex.
of course, I mean, Marcia alluded to it. It's about Jaime, who is Laurie Strode's daughter, that is being raised by the Lloyd family. And she gets found by Michael Myers, and as he likes to do, he follows his progeny, or, not progeny specifically, but his bloodline, and attempts to kill them. So
he's the T.O.
It's the weird thing. He had numerous opportunities, many times, to kill Jaime, but he tends to like to play with his food.
Right.
So the very first time we see is in the costume shop,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually really liked that scene because
like her
she
clown
sees
outfit.
she
It's
sees
on all the
Michael.
marketing material.
She sees Michael in the mirror, and like he steps behind her, and then she freaks out and like kind of smashes the mirror, and the people come and they think that she's seeing things. We think that she's seeing things, and then Michael steps away at the end of the aisle, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I liked a couple of little moments like that.
Don't bite me.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, he's biting me.
SpaghettiOs.
He's a biter.
The
He's a biter.
BiteOs.
So the story continues. That is essentially the story.
Yeah,
he's,
it is. There's
He's
not
going
much-
after Jamie and her adopted sister Rachel.
Yeah.
Because Rachel's the one always around Jamie, having to take her around on Halloween and things like that.
And she makes her feel like a burden, which made me feel really bad for.
Well,
I
at
don't think
first,
she
but
meant
no,
that.
at first,
I
and
think
then
it
they
was-
had the conversation that kind of cleared
initial
the air.
scene, you can tell that they care and stuff, but where she was like, "Do I have to?" and all that.
Yeah,
Well, that was
like,
just
it's
because
typical
she was-
sister stuff.
She
I
just
guess,
wanted.
no,
She just
no.
was saying that because she wanted to hang out with her boyfriend.
wanted
But
to
when
go
she
get down
saw
on the
that
bang
Jamie
down.
hurt her, she's like, "No, I don't really feel that way."
And that boyfriend, they tried to redeem his character before what goes down with him, but I don't know. Every male character, at least in the 4 and 5 that I watched, are super douchebags.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Super douchebags.
Absolutely.
Like they went for the 80s horror stereotype
Yep.
with these guys more so than. Honestly, even worse than Friday and Nightmare. And,
Friday
I
has a
mean,
bit more variance to it.
Yeah,
on
at
the,
least,
on the,
at least a little
on the
bit.
dude range anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just like thinking about the guy in 5 with the glasses and the stupid car. Right at this point, he was named Michael.
Anyway, we'll get to
we
it.
will talk about that later. Yeah,
So
yeah.
continuing on, guys, that's the long and short of the story. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about the acting again.
we
Fuego
do have
mentioned
Loomis trying to
true.
convince everybody
Again.
that he's back.
again. People, why don't people listen to Loomis
Nobody
at this
listens-
point? He's
nobody
been
listens,
right every
ever.
single time.
But Loomis is amped up so ridiculously in this 4th movie, and almost as much, if not more
He is a
so,
little
in
bit,
the 5th
yeah.
one. He's just like, he's coming back! How many people did he kill last time? And he's just
but
ranting
the
and
police
raving.
still don't believe him.
No, and
Until
it's
they
It
all
takes
die.
until 5 when they're finally
Yeah.
like,
kind
all right,
of
let's listen to this
after
guy.
after he's killed some people too.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
like, really?
Another thing that happens is 4 the one with the rednecks? You said, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
so
love
there's
that.
a there's
The whole
a
brigade goes
redneck
after him.
posse,
Yeah, in
that is
Illinois,
formed
no less.
because they find out
Filmed
that
in
yes,
California.
indeed, Pleasance is right, Loomis is right, Michael is back, and so
The only people
they
that
form
do
a
listen
posse.
to Loomis
Yeah, exactly.
is
Well,
the
because the
posse.
police keep getting knocked off by Myers,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all of them, en
We're gonna
masse.
go get him
By the way,
ourselves.
all the police in the police station were killed off camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that was
a-
such a missed opportunity.
There
It
were
was a
so
Terminator
many-
moment, but they didn't show it. How
Yeah.
cool would it
So
have been to
many
see
quick
Michael
cuts, man.
going into a police station and just taking them all out, even though
Yeah.
he's getting shot and everything.
So
Like,
many quick carnage
such a
cuts,
missed
dude.
opportunity.
It really, especially as much as I thought the story was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's stuff like that that made me not like it that much.
Yeah.
You know.
So, we talked about Jamie, we talked about Pleasance. Rachel, I think, has more to do in obviously has more to do in this one than in 5, but I actually liked Rachel in this one.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I
thought
feel
she was
like
good. She's
what they
solid,
did in
man.
5, I'll tell about it when we get into 5, but I think Rachel should have been in 5 more. I think they should have flip-flopped 2 of the characters in 5.
I'm assuming that they had her for one day on
And
set.
that was it, yeah. They didn't wanna
They're
pay
just
too
like,
much.
Let's
They're
have
like,
your
let's just
end
put-
and
yeah.
let's have your beginning.
But
and
I
blah,
think
blah, blah.
I think the script should have been reworked to change that myself. But
Yeah,
but
I
anyway,
agree. She's strong
continuing
in
on.
it though. Acting wise, she's strong.
I thought she was too. What about the other, smaller players in this one? 4, I don't think anyone really was a standout.
As I said, I like the sheriff, and
And he comes back in 5.
Yeah, he does. But Pleasance for me just, I almost feel like, oh, sir. I almost feel like he's crying for the sheer fact that I feel like Pleasance is almost a parody of the Dr. Loomis character by this point. He truly is. He's, I mean, at least in 5, you get him trying to be a little bit more psychological with Michael with the personal interaction and that one particular scene where he's like, give me the knife and everything. But I know, dude, I know. It's not, he's not very good in this movie. I'm sorry. Yeah, Donald
Don't talk
Pleasance
about Michael.
and yet he's the top billed person in this. So that's, I think inevitably, despite the very strong female presence in this movie, the guys, except for the sheriff, are like a big detriment. whether it's a stereotypical boyfriend, whatever character, or, you know, Pleasance or, you know, whatever. Except for the sheriff, all the dudes in this movie kind of suck.
Well, I really feel like in this movie it was meant to focus on Jamie and Rachel, and everybody else was just cannon fodder.
Right,
Really.
at least, right,
They were
right,
just
so.
like, they needed people to murder, and they wanted the boyfriend to be hated. They wanted Rachel to be liked, so she doesn't do the guy. She's actually the sister that took, instead of like Michael's sister who ditched him to go have sex, Rachel ditched the boyfriend to take Jamie, and I thought that was an interesting balance.
Well, and then happens across the boyfriend, which, by the way, leads me to mention that this not only was a goreless entry, which, again, the first Halloween was goreless, but this one was a nudity-less entry, and you're teased with a beautiful pair that just don't come to fruition.
Now I'm trying to remember, was this the one where when he's making the initial escape, the thumb to the eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, that little forehead.
Yeah, on the forehead.
I thought that was an interesting
I thought that
like,
was
it was
cool.
different.
I'll
When
tell
they
you,
set-
I
when they
haven't-
set the tone with
yeah.
that, I was like, maybe this is gonna be a lot
kills
different.
in
and then they
this
backed
one.
off. You
The
know?
kills
I
in
didn't
this
like
one
the
were
mask
good
in this
because
one either.
Oh, the mask sucks in this one. It is so
Like they
plain
like
Jane white.
lost
It
the
looked
original
so...
mask, and they're like, "Ooh, sorry."
here's when I'm
Where
sorry.
did he find a new one after escaping? Is what I...
Well, it was in the store. When he was in the
Right.
costume store, when
Because
she's in
everybody
there,
else,
he grabs
and
it
then
off
they
the
had
rack.
that
Yeah,
posse
they're
of
like,
Michaels.
we have
so
a
the
William
kids
Shatner
dress
Yeah,
up as
exactly.
Michaels.
Yep.
There's Michaels everywhere.
That was the first one, and by the way,
Five
that
is
was
where
that
they
was
go
done
really-
in Hellfest just this weekend
Oh,
as we
really?
record this. Yeah. So I'm like, it was a very derivative. That's what I was saying. It's very derivative. But one of the things I said is a tiny bit of gore and a largely underwhelming group of kills. But I do have to say they are varied, and it's not just him stabbing people.
Right.
No.
So there's
Which is why I mentioned
electrocution.
that, yeah.
There's a shotgun run through.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that was cool. There's tossing people off a truck. There's crushing heads, ripping out throats, and then stabbing a guy and then throwing him off a truck. Like there was a couple of non-Michael Myers-esque kills, which was nice for me. I thought that was one of the positives of the movie.
Yeah, there was a variance in that factor, but...
What did you guys think of the effects yourselves, the kills?
I thought they were good. I mean, so I thought it was different. I don't know. I mean,
So did he.
it was. I mean, it doesn't hold up, obviously, from like if you think about the special effects and you're talking that wide. But
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing, because so much 80s stuff does. But
you thought this held up?
No, so much 80s
Oh,
stuff
so
does.
it's like-
So
So
he's saying it's weird because so much 80s stuff holds
right.
up, and this one
Yeah.
doesn't.
This
Yeah.
one does not. I feel like they might not have had as much money as they wanted to have to accomplish everything. But
Yeah.
We're actually going to be talking about, as a news story, the fact that the producer of 4 or 5, and I'm not sure if he did 6 or not, Mustafa something, he still wants to make a TV series.
Well, his son is doing it now. His son was the producer on, I think, 6 as we watched. Or no, he was still a producer on 6, but I saw that his son made a statement regarding Halloween 2018. So his son is the producer of that, I think. I think it's his son. I don't know.
yeah, and
Same
then,
last name.
And then when you had the bodies in the attic,
Yep.
that was.
was...
I mean, just the effects of it were pretty obvious.
Well, no, the bodies in the attic, or which one was that? Was 5. Are you sure?
Was that 5?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
5.
5 was where...
Yeah.
there
Was
the
Max
coffin.
in- oh, you're right,
Yeah,
you're
the
No,
coffin.
because Sunday was part 4.
Right, you're correct.
The Golden
You're
Retriever was
correct.
part 4.
But even that was gross. When you
So
think about.
yeah, I mean, outside of that, guys, I think I even made mention that I hated the score reproduction in 4.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was like a crappy, like it felt, what was it, like a xylophone? What did I say? What was wrong with it for you guys? Because there was something about it. I gotta check my notes.
I
to
just
see what
didn't
it
feel
was.
like it was that prominent.
It was a
to be
decent
honest.
reproduction, but it didn't feel as period specific, and it really didn't feel like it improved upon anything for me. I do feel like they used some of the original, and then they just riffed on, that little movement, I guess, as you would say. So, I don't know. Sound design was okay. Getting crashed in the mines and all this other craziness. I mean,
You didn't even see the mine. He just fell into the
yeah,
hole.
Yeah.
exactly. And they didn't even give proper context until 5, where they're like, "Oh yeah, they threw dynamite."
Yeah, I was like, what?
So Stoops, it was one of those, like, the movie just came out last year, so last week on Halloween,
Right.
this is what happened, and I'm just like, really?
Previously on Halloween.
Previous on Halloween.
But
This movie's just okay. I saw somebody on Killer Flicks recently say that they think this is a better sequel than 2. What do you think?
Well, It's not
think
really.
there's
I don't think it's a
aspects
sequel.
of it that are better.
I don't see it as a sequel.
I do. I for sure do.
I see it as another installment because 1 and 2 went together, and
I thought
4
2
and
was
5 went
boring.
together.
I thought 2 was boring, and I thought there was terrible character stuff in 2, and Laurie was completely short shrifted on it. So we talked about that in the review, but yeah. So this one, we'll get it wrapped up here for the little guy. It's okay. Thank you guys very much for watching. Though, why don't you let us know in the comments down below what you thought of Halloween 4. I'd be interested to hear some opinions. We'll be back to do part 5 and 6.
I won't be here
Fuego
for
won't be here for
6.
6, unfortunately, but that's okay. You guys can ask him your opinion on next week's live stream if you want. Thank you guys very much for watching. Click the link in the description box for our Patreon if you want to support the channel that way. You can select reviews for us to do, and we are going to start to do the monthly Patreon live stream contribution stuff as well as Hail to Stephen King.
And
so
the monthly is $10, as you corrected me.
$10 for the reviews.
Yes,
Yeah,
for the reviews.
Yeah, $5 gets you access to watch everything. $10 gets you access to tell us what to do.
Yeah, you can dictate, man.
Exactly. So, yes, thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Archburger.
Gracias, Jaime.
And remember, stay scared.
Ah.